Welcome to another episode of the Peak Potential Success Show. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on the show, we have another great guest. He's somebody I see a lot on these webinars, these conferences, all online because he's all the way in Australia, across the globe. And that's where we're at right now. I'm meeting people all over the place, and Eng is somebody I thought that, wow, I want him on my show because he has a great mindset. He has a great approach to entrepreneurship, and he's very, very successful in what he does. He started off as an electrical and a computer systems engineer. He took that skill set and applied it into cleaning, delivery, laundry industry, and really transformed that because he's able to input the digital mindset, the high-tech models into a very traditional concept to really grow and scale those businesses. So please welcome Managing Director and Entrepreneur, Mr. Eng Ho.
Oh, thanks, Fong. Really, really big title there. I love to meet the person you're talking about.
Well, thank you for being here. I know it's early for you because you're way over at Australia. But once again, thanks for being here. You're one of those people who have that mindset that, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it no matter what.
That's right. I think that's so true in life that you only got one life, and anything that's worth doing is not easy. You just got to push through. Otherwise, you might regret. Chances are you probably will regret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, share with us your journey. I know right now you do lots of business, you partner up with other companies and organizations, but you didn't start there. So what was your journey? How did you go from young Eng to electrical engineer, systems engineer to who you are now?
Right. Okay. It's a really long journey, but I suppose I can summarize it for the sake of the audience. Yeah, I came to Australia as a migrant, and I studied engineering. Very quickly, I found that the job as an engineer and then going to work for a company eventually becomes too cage, I suppose. It really depends on who you meet, the people you associate with, and I eventually say that, hey, I want to go out, I want to make a change. I love to be empower others as well as myself. As I left the company and I go out and work. So work is not easy. I left without what do you call that, a safety net. So I went out and I say, oh shit, it's getting very, very difficult.
So you just cut the cord.
I cut the cord and I left and I say, I'm gonna be a developer, like a property developer. I have no skill at all. I've never done property, and I thought like it's gonna be easy. Well, I was wrong. I ended up selling health shakes, like multi-level marketing and things like that, just to make ends meet. I nearly lost my house. I went and I say like, hey, to be really good, I really need to be good in sales, and I did learn that from a lot of masters over in the States. There's a lot of speakers such as Robert Kiyosaki and then JT Fox and the rest of them. Very, very good inspiration as well as a guidance for me. So from multi-level marketing, I learned the skills, the trade, and then I went to a real estate agency. I tried to sell houses and things like that. Eventually, I get to know people. I have accountants and so forth. I did pretty well. I think I can sell. If you put your mind to it, it's doable. Not the best salesperson, but you hone your skill. You're not born a salesperson, but you get better at it if you practice it. Eventually, it comes to a point, and I got a really, really good referral from my accountant. I feel like, hey, have you heard about this industry called the commercial laundry? I say, oh, never heard about it. I know dry cleaners. No idea what's a commercial laundry. I say, well, there's a guy there in Melbourne. Pay out the investors pretty well. So you ought to meet him. So I made an appointment and I met this man in Melbourne, who eventually, after 5 years partnering with him, we grew from a Melbourne-based company to a nationwide company.
Wow.
And from 2012, we got in middle of the year. We got out 2018 in October. We sold it off, and then now it's still running, but it's bought over by a private equity company. What am I doing now is I have a leftover company in regional Victoria in a place called Geelong. It was meant to be part of the sale, but it didn't go through. So I got two options. One, I close down the company and then goes and find something else to do, or I keep it, because there are a lot of really, really good people. Because eventually a company, a business is really about the people you work with and the people you service as well. Without them, you're basically, half of what you can be. So I decided to say option two. I can't let them go. I can't really leave them in lurch without any indication of what to do in the future. Not everybody wants to be entrepreneur. Not everybody has plans in their life to go forward, and I suppose I appreciate that as well. So we started off with a really small warehouse, and then eventually, from 2018, we weren't sure that we're not going to sell until 2019 or so, and then the pandemic came. So it was a difficult time. We got all our sales slashed by 95%. Virgin left us, with a lot of unpaid bills that we can't recoup from them, and it went to receivership. A lot of company does that. So we're like that, floating around for 2 years. We persevere. I got really, really good coaching from the team at JT Fox, especially Mr. JT Fox himself. And I start looking for businesses. I look around for businesses that synergize, and I bought them, and I start growing. And now we are back at the very base of what a commercial laundry ought to be. So from a warehouse, we have a full-blown operation. We are other businesses that is in the peripheral, and we are growing diagonally. I suppose, like, rather than vertically or horizontally, we're going diagonally. So the synergistic businesses, they fit into each other. We use the services that we provide to each other, and we sell them as well. So hence that's where I am. I don't know how long it took, but yeah, that's quite a journey.
Wow. Now, going back, like when that decision for you to cut the cord, how many people around you told you not to do it?
Oh, that's a really good question. Almost everybody, everybody, especially my parents. Yeah, they are not saying, oh, you're silly, you should go back them for your job back, and then you can negotiate the pay and things like that, because they need you, and they can't function without you.
Was there any part of that time period where you go, maybe, I don't know, am I making the wrong decision? Like, was there enough people to almost sway you back, or you were determined?
I was 100% determined. Why is that? Is because I put myself in that position. I tell everybody I'm going to be an entrepreneur. So there's no way to go back. I burned my own bridge. If I go back, I'm going to go back with the tail between my feet, and then I'll say, I'm just a talker and I can't do it. So I put myself in that position. I say, I have to go forward. I'll die trying. There's no other way about it.
How long did it take until the people around you who told you shouldn't do it eventually became, you know what, we were wrong?
It takes longer for your family.
Even today?
I love you. Well, today is not different. No, today I completely changed my mind. I think there's no way, coming from a traditional family, my parents, they do work for people, and then and so forth, but they can never become financially, at least, to become what I am right now. So it's nothing to not to brag or anything, but it's just a reality of things. You take risks. I could fail anytime along the way, but I'll pick myself back up. But a lot of people aren't willing to fail, and they don't. A lot of people don't want to make decisions that can potentially ruin their life. And I don't see that. I suppose every mistake is an opportunity to learn. As long as you can climb back up. I've got a very, very good advice to everyone. This is from my uncle, who's very successful in business. He told me, if you look around and you see everywhere is equal, you're at the bottom of a frying pan or a wok. So at the very bottom, everything is flat, everything is equal. But there are people on top that can look down at you and say, like, hey, you think the world is equal. It is not. Nature is not equal. No matter how the government try to perceive that in you, then they're not. You put in the hard work, you meet the right people, and you go with the chance and do it right. Hey, you eventually get there. You might not be the top. You don't have to be the top. No one has to. It's not a race. No one has to win anything, but do the best that you can be. And I suppose that's the mantra I have, to go forward, inch by inch, little by little, and and now even more, as you go along, you start running without you noticing. You're going faster than others. You get friends. Really, it's a lonely position at the top, but you eventually find friends, find great people like a cell phone. There are not many people like you, but when we see each other, we reach out and we say, hey, you're one of a kind. I can see that in me. I can see you in me. I can see others they've probably gone through a similar experience, not exactly the same, but very similar. And we like to associate ourselves with that. Yeah, I suppose that's.
Well,
I really can't remember what's the original question. So.
Thanks for that. And you know what? You've highlighted something that really makes me enjoy interviewing people from all over the world, because I've heard analogies to mountains, to ladders, to trees.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've heard an analogy with a WOK. So that goes to different cultures and different areas in the world. So thank you for that. Now, when it comes to your engineering mindset, would you say that has helped you transition? Like when you transitioned over, that mindset, that skill, has that helped you make you different than your competition?
Yes, I would say yes. Compared to a lot of people, we've been, I suppose we've been associated with the right brain and the left brain, and a lot of mindset that comes along the way. Just by being a left brain doesn't mean that you can be successful. You might be critical, you might be number oriented, you might be a bit shy and introverted and so forth. But having that extra skill as an engineer helps you take things apart, like a car. You got to take apart the car, you see what's in the car, you put it back again, make a better car. With that mindset, I suppose I tend to take a step back, look at how the individual component can be improve them system by system, bit by bit, put it back, make sure it works again, and be better at from the original. That I suppose I got to give it to my parents to say, hey, you got to go to engineering school, you got to learn a skill like that. There's no point going out and or doing all these things. Hey, life, you have no crystal ball. But this life that I took, I have no regrets. It's really, really good to have an engineering mindset when it comes to business or in general in life, I suppose. Yeah, in every situation that you can encounter problems. The problem is good.
Now, one thing that you've done was you've taken stuff that you've learned that like what in one industry, which is like the digital space, those new technology, high tech, and you've taken that into traditional areas and made that work even better? Is there an example? Is there a story that you can share that really highlights that fact that lots of things that are working already could work a lot better if you just add something else to it?
Things change along the way. Actively working on something. For myself, I don't see that as a really big impact. Um, I the question that you posed for me, I right now I really can't think of any personal achievement that I can really think about. But I suppose being a business owner just lately, I go for departmental meetings and so forth with my team. Every time of the way, doesn't matter whether it's logistics, sales, engineering, or even marketing or finance. Any of these area, they come posing a question and say, "We just can't do it." You know, it's very different. When we see this, it might not be a technical aspect. It can, for example, be a financial issue.
Mm-hmm.
But with that thought process, you're able to lead the team and say, "Hey, take a step back. So what seems to be a problem? Break it up. Okay, if that's the problem, is that a be all and end all? Can you live without that? And then move forward inch by inch. You might not make a car straight away, right? Any business, you can't throw millions of dollars and say this is a perfect business. Let's run with it. It
Mm-hmm.
never happened. You start small, you gain the confidence, you go step by step. Changing that after every meeting, rather than passing the blame or responsibility and say like, hey, after 1 hour, 2 hours, two long meeting and say like, hey, every walk away and you're the scapegoat. Everybody pointing to you. We don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Every walk away thinking that, hey, we found a new way of thinking, how to solve a problem that we can duplicate and go for other problems. So every meeting is an improvement, with the people, with the management, with the department itself. I'm not sure whether I answered your question, but that comes from engineering mindset,
Mm-hmm.
rather than um, putting a blame on people and making the whole team non-functional.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who are left-minded, and they go, "Yes, somebody left-minded was able to transition over and make something else bigger and better." And then you said the words that scare them: sales, marketing, all that kind of stuff. Now, at the very beginning, you said you're good at sales. You're able to implement strategies and skills to really hone in how to sell effectively. Now, for a left-minded person who is scared of those words, what are some steps? What are some what do you call it? Keys or secrets that you could share with left-minded people as to how they could become better salespeople?
Okay, two ways. Okay, option one, option two. Option one, the long way. Option two, the quick way. Option number one is to go out and sell. Doesn't matter you're good or bad at it. Just go out and sell. If you hone your skill and you don't give up, you eventually sell something, and you naturally will learn this is the correct way of selling. And of course, the same way of selling might not work the next time because you sell to different people. Your personal behavior and that person you're selling to might be a total opposite. You might clash, and you got to learn how to sell to that type of group. There's a lot of reflection and training and practice. Eventually, you get there. Option number one, probably the best teacher. Option number two, the quick way, get coaching. Learn from the masters. Learn from people who are good at it. Come back to them all the like on regular basis, once a week, twice a week, once a month. Doesn't matter. You have regular time. Go back to them. You'll be fearful that you might not be doing what you can do, because your coach gonna kick your ass if you come back and say I didn't do anything, right? That gives you motivation
Mm.
to really go quick. You pay for what you get. You know, if you go for a coach who is probably worse than you probably learn nothing. You probably find the best in there. So might take two ways. You either practice or you go shortcut. You find someone who's really good and coach you.
Mhm. Now, when it comes to sales, for yourself, was there something that you found that you lacked at the very beginning that you had to work a lot on? Is there one specific thing?
There are many things. The main thing would be confidence.
Mhm.
It's very scary to go and talk to people, especially as a young person who have no social skill. But you got to take the step. You know, the best motivator for me is hunger. You know, when
Literally.
you're hungry, yeah, when you're hungry, you do whatever it takes. A lot of people in the world right now, they're hungry, but you don't see their story. But then again, you see a lot of people who aren't hungry because you get handouts and so forth. That actually cripple them. You sometimes just go out there and be hungry, and then you thank yourself. The environment actually stops you from growing.
Mhm.
You know, you need to get out from there. You need to realize that's happening to you, and you cannot be fearful and go out and sell. You know, selling is not just about making money. Selling is also about social. How do you find a girlfriend? You sell yourself,
Put
isn't it?
yourself out there.
That's right. You got to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you fail as a human being. As
Mhm.
a you know, you're not quite a person that you could be.
Mhm.
Let's put it that
So, like, you talk about speaking. Was there something that you forced yourself to do? Did you do lots of practice videos? Did you force yourself to go networking a lot? Like, what were some of the things that you forced yourself to do so that you would be more comfortable to speak in front of people?
way. Meetings does help. You I'll put myself back in the worst time of my life. You know, the scariest time is when I have to hand out flyers and then speak to people and invite them at the train station to come with me for a seminar talk. I get so much rejection. I get spat at as well. So it's kind of horrible because no one likes to be sold to. Everybody loves to buy,
Uh,
but I didn't know that. You know, I don't have techniques, but you come back and you come back next day, the day after, you come back every single day until you get less fearful. You never get out of it. You gotta be uncomfortable, a little bit uncomfortable at least all the time. Otherwise, when you're comfortable, you move on. You go somewhere more uncomfortable, and then you grow from there. That could be the worst time. But now I don't mind. I go back there and sell again. I go back to the subway and sell.
was that right after you cut the cord?
Not right after, because I
Uh,
wanted to be a proper developer.
oh yeah, yeah.
I can't beat the Chinese market. They come in and buy everything at a soup. I can't compete with them. I negotiate. Say why negotiate? They willing to pay 3 times the price. So after that, you say like, what else? I won't join the company back because it's going to be same old, same old.
Mhm.
Depend on the boss and so forth. I got to sell something. This thing
Ah.
is low entry, few $100 get you in there. You know, I might not be the best health shake salesperson, but I probably is one of the most determined one in there.
Wow. That is incredible because I can imagine that feeling getting rejected. And well, the thing is, they're like, okay, yes, interested, and then like, but wait, there's more. Why don't you come with me to the train station?
Pressure sounds very shady, but I suppose I my mic looked like that back then.
Trust me, come on.
That's right. Come over here.
For you, when it comes to the laundry industry and helping those companies grow and whatnot, what makes you different than the other competition? Why
Uh,
should somebody come to you?
a lot of times you got to find out what is the problem with the industry. Uh, Once you identify that, you're able to focus into that area for our industry is the personal interaction. Be an owner of a hotel, or a procurement person, or a head housekeeper, maybe operations manager. Everybody wants to speak to somebody to try to solve a problem, because it's a very, I suppose it's very people-oriented business. There's a lot of interaction with the housekeepers and the guests coming in and so forth. Anything could happen. What we sell, I suppose, what's our strength is that customer service. Customer service, the ability to not overpromise and underdeliver. Do what you say. You have to show that what you say is true. That is the basic of a business, and we do that very, very well. Every time people come over, it's always not because the quality is bad, or it's very, very cheap. And no, those things are secondary. People will leave the current service and come to us because there's nobody to talk to. No one to solve the problem. People just hide away and let the problem solve itself and doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because the quality is bad as well. It's because there are not deliveries. People say they will come 3 times a week and they don't come for weeks on end. You see in hospitals, people, the patients are without gown, they're naked on the floor, on the bed, because the linen don't come to them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of competition are letting our customers down because these customers are letting their customers down. We're taking care of all levels through, make sure that all these things are done. Of course, we're not perfect. No model is perfect. No company is perfect.
Right.
But we stick with that rules. We do what we say. We show that, and we deliver.
Mm-hmm. Now you have a great mindset. You're very, very positive. Yet you're very successful, and you're very, very humble too. I get this great energy from you. You are very passionate about what you do. You're a great salesperson, but I don't feel that you're a salesperson, right? You're not selling all the time kind of thing, but people want to build relationships with you. You just have a great demeanor. Now, is that something that you worked on? Like this mindset, this positive energy that you will always have? Is that something you've worked on? Or is that something you've just been grown up to have?
Now, I don't think anything is natural. Everything needs effort. Mm-hmm. Even if you might have some attenuation to a certain personality, you might have a bigger aptitude for it, but you got to hone it. I suppose likability, maybe I'm born with that. I do not know, but you got to practice that. If I don't open my mouth and I don't genuinely like you, because I'm always curious. I want to know what you do as well. I love to know people, people of different walks of life, people with their struggles and things like that. You gotta be genuine. You genuinely gotta like people. You can't really fake that. Those things you need to hone. You need to train. You need to go out there and talk to as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, final 2 formal questions for you.
Sure.
That is, what does legacy mean to you?
Probably not very much. I suppose like when you're gone, you came out from the earth, you go back to the earth. Legacy at the very simple term, I suppose. When I leave the world, I hope that my path along during life has improved the life of many. Maybe give them financially sound advice, or maybe improve the community itself. That, I suppose, is the basic of what we want to do in life, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And then my final question is, let's put you on the world stage. You get a few minutes to share one message to the world for everybody to remember Eng for. What would that one message be? And it can't be the WOK again.
Tell me the WOK. Okay. Get on the stage. Hey, probably the best connector, deal maker. Who knows? At some point, the kingmaker. That would be a good title, like JT Fox, the kingmaker. One day I might like to be remembered for that. To empower others to be able to succeed in life.
Awesome. Now, before I let you go, I'm going to give you 5 more quick, fast questions. First thing that comes to mind. First question is: you're stranded on a deserted island with one food to eat for the rest of your life, no consequence. What food would you like to eat?
Apple.
Wow, so simple.
First thing, apple.
Is there a hidden talent that not many people know about?
I play the organ.
Oh, cool. Maybe you could play some. Can you play now?
I don't have one. I don't have one in the house.
If you were able to take a road trip with anybody you would like, who would that person be?
My wife.
Your wife goes, "Hey, let's go on a road trip, but I'm hungry." What do you cook for her to make it even more special?
Instant noodle. Oh, first thing that came to mind. Instant noodle.
You must make a really good instant noodle for it to be
I made a
special.
mean one. I'll make you one when we go to Mega.
Okay, I look forward to. I don't want to. I don't want the cup noodle one. I want
You
it
don't
to
cut
be made.
the proper one. Oh, then we need to find a stove.
And my last question is, what is success like? But before that, give me a number from 1 to 4.
1.
So number 1 is baseball. So if you were to relate success with baseball, how is success like baseball?
You hit 5 times, you hit once, that's successful. Constantly keep hitting it, you probably get a home run one day.
Nicely done. Well, once again, thank you very much. I had a lot of fun chatting with you, and there's a lot of great words of wisdom that you shared. I love the WOK one. I'm going to use that sometime. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to find you?
You can get in touch with me through LinkedIn. I do use Facebook, but not quite. Yeah, maybe you can show them on the subtitle, something that later when you publish this. I can't remember what's my LinkedIn thing. I'm not a social media person, but LinkedIn would be good.
Awesome. Do you have any last words that you want to share?
Go out there and change the world.
Awesome. So thank you very much. Once again, I enjoyed our time. I know it's a very early morning for you, so I'll let you go. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. I'm very excited for that. And for everybody else, he is Eng. My name is Fong. Until next time. Today is the day to unlock your peak potential. We'll see you later.
Thank you.